This video explores every major French aircraft used during the Second World War, from frontline fighters to heavy bombers, reconnaissance planes, and specialized support machines. Before the fall of France in 1940, the French Air Force was one of the largest in Europe, equipped with a wide range of domestically designed aircraft. Some were modern and highly capable, while others reflected older design philosophies struggling to keep pace with rapidly advancing warfare. Together, these machines formed the backbone of France's aerial defense and defensive power during the opening stages of the war, shaping air battles across Western Europe and continuing to serve in various roles throughout the conflict. The primary fighter of the French Air Force at the outbreak of war was the Morane-Saulnier MS-406. Designed in the mid-1930s, the MS-406 was lightweight and highly maneuverable. It featured a mixed construction of metal and wood, with a liquid-cooled engine powering a single propeller. Its main armament included a 20mm cannon firing through the propeller hub, supported by machine guns in the wings. In combat, the MS-406 proved agile at lower speeds, but lacked the speed and climb performance of newer German fighters, like the Messerschmitt Bf 109. Despite these weaknesses, it accounted for a large portion of French aerial victories during the Battle of France. Moving forward, France introduced one of its most capable fighters of the war, the Dewoitine D-520. This aircraft represented a major leap in French aviation technology. Sleek, fast, and heavily armed, the D-520 could finally compete with German fighters on nearly equal terms. It featured a powerful engine, excellent aerodynamics, and a strong weapons package of a 20mm cannon and multiple machine guns. Pilots praised its handling and combat performance, particularly at higher speeds. However, production was slow, and only a limited number were operational before France's defeat in 1940. Another important fighter was the Bloch MB-150 and MB-152 series. These aircraft were rugged and well-armed, built primarily of metal with powerful radio engines. Their heavy construction made them durable in combat, and they carried multiple machine guns and cannons. While strong in firepower, they were slower and less maneuverable than German fighters, which limited their effectiveness. Still, they played a defensive role in protecting French airspace. France fielded a wide range of bombers, from outdated designs to some of the most modern aircraft in Europe. One of the older heavy bombers was the MEO-143. Designed in the early 1930s, it featured a bulky, high-wing structure with fixed landing gear and multiple gun positions. It was slow and poorly armored, making it highly vulnerable to enemy fighters. Despite these shortcomings, MEO-143 bombers carried out night raids and reconnaissance missions early in the war, when more modern aircraft were still scarce. Next came one of France's most capable bombers, the Liot at Olivier LE-451. This twin-engined medium bomber was fast, sleek, and well-armed for its time. It could carry a significant bomb load while maintaining high speed, making interception more difficult. The LE-451 proved highly capable in combat, but like many French designs, it entered service too late and in too few numbers to change the outcome of the campaign. Another widely used bomber was the Bloch MB-200 and MB-210 series. These were transitional designs, built as France moved from older biplane bombers to modern monoplane aircraft. While more advanced than early models, they still lacked speed and protection compared to enemy fighters. They served in both bombing and training roles throughout the war. One of the most versatile French aircraft families was the Potez 63 series. Originally designed as a twin-engined heavy fighter, the Potez 63 evolved into a full range of aircraft, including reconnaissance planes, light bombers, and ground attack variants. These aircraft featured good range, solid firepower, and multi-crew cockpits designed for long missions. In reconnaissance roles, they provided vital intelligence on enemy movements. In combat versions, they attacked ground targets and attempted to intercept bombers. While not as fast as German fodders, the Potez aircraft were dependable and widely used throughout the early years of the war. Another reconnaissance aircraft was the Morane-115 series, which served primarily as observation planes for artillery spotting and battlefield intelligence. These aircraft were slow but stable, designed for low-altitude flight, where crews could closely monitor troop movements. They were essential for coordinating ground operations, though highly vulnerable to fighters. Behind the front lines, French aviation relied on large transport and supply aircraft. One notable heavy transport was the Farman F-222. Originally developed as a long-range bomber, it was adapted into a transport aircraft capable of carrying troops, equipment, and supplies over long distances. Its four-engine design gave it excellent range and lifting power, making it useful for strategic missions and evacuation flights. Smaller transports, such as the Potez 650, were used to move personnel and light cargo between bases and frontline airfields. These aircraft helped maintain communication and supply lines during the chaotic early stages of the war. France also operated a significant number of naval aircraft, particularly flying boats and seaplanes. One of the most famous was the WWII 298. This torpedo bomber and reconnaissance seaplane was designed for naval warfare. It could operate from coastal bases and open water, launching torpedoes against enemy ships or conducting patrol missions. The WWII 298 proved effective in maritime combat and continued to see service throughout the war. Another important flying boat was the Breguet 521 Bizerte. This large four-engine aircraft was used for long-range patrol, convoy escort, and reconnaissance over the Mediterranean and Atlantic. Its extended range allowed French forces to monitor naval activity far from shore, though its size made it vulnerable to fighter attack. To prepare pilots for combat, France relied on numerous training aircraft, such as the Caudron C-445 Goland and Morane-Saulnier trainers. These aircraft provided essential flight instruction and navigation training. Some were later adapted for light transport and liaison roles during the war. Support aircraft also included medical evacuation planes and communication aircraft that ensured coordination between ground forces and air commands. Together, these aircraft represented a nation racing to modernize its air force under immense pressure. Some designs, like the Dewoitine D-520 and Liot et Olivier LE-451, matched or even exceeded enemy technology. Others reflected earlier eras of aviation that struggled against faster, better-armed opponents. The rapid collapse of France in 1940 prevented many of these machines from reaching their full potential. However, they continued to serve under various forces, including Vichy France, Free French units, and even German operators who captured and reused French aircraft. The story of French aviation in World War II is one of innovation mixed with urgency, progress limited by time, and aircraft that fought bravely despite overwhelming circumstances. From nimble fighters to massive flooding boats, each machine played a role in the complex aerial battles of the early years of the war, leaving behind a legacy of engineering, courage, and rapid technological change.